Thank you very much once again to welcome you to Medzone African Motives. Today I want us to look at creative arts. I want us to look at creative arts, whereby we are going to make a revision for the paper which was written in 2023. So let us be together from the start of this presentation to the end of it. So that is grade 9. Subject is creative arts. Paper is visual arts. The marks that are allocated is 50 marks. The total marks is 50 marks. And we are to take 60 minutes on this paper. We are to take 60 minutes on this paper. As you can see, the duration is 60 minutes, excluding the 15 minutes reading time. So that is that. So now let us move on. So here we are on instructions. Instructions to the learner. You will receive 15 minutes reading time before you begin answering this test. Read all the instructions and questions carefully. Answer all the questions. Use the provided answer sheet to write your answers. So those are the instructions. They are very important. So now let us move on to question 1, section A, question 1. Whereby you know for sure that we're going to talk about what? Creative arts. But before we can even attend this question, we know that creative arts encompasses various forms of artistic expression, which includes the visual arts. That's when you're talking about painting, we're talking about photography. Also, it's about performing arts. Talk of theater, talk of dance, talk of music. Also, literary arts, we can talk about poetry, fiction, non-fiction. Also, it includes design when you talk of graphic design and fashion design. So that is a creative arts. So you know for sure creative arts fosters imagination, innovation. It provides entertainment and cultural enrichment, allows self-expression and emotional communication. So the creative arts play a very significant role in shaping culture, inspiring creativity, and bring people together. So that is what creative arts is all about. So without wasting much time, let's attend to the questions. Let's attend to the question, whereby we are starting with question 1, section A. It says choose the correct option from the responses provided. Write only the correct letter. So this is a multiple choice question. So you're given 4 options and we are to give the best answer out of them. So 1.1, many modern homes are decorated by using different kinds of porcelain, ceramic tiles on the floor and walls, which have made homes beautiful, shiny, and easy to clean. What do we call a person who make a ceramic and the porcelain tiles? What do you call such a person? So we are given 4 options and we are to give what the best out of it. And the correct answer is B, ceramist. Ceramicist. So the ceramicist is the one who makes ceramic and the porcelain tiles. Ceramicist. So ceramicist is the artist working with ceramics. This is an artist working with ceramics. This is an artist working with ceramics. Working with ceramics. So that is that. So now let us move on to the another question. What do you call a person responsible for developing illusions, logos, and other design hand or by using a software? What do you call a person responsible for developing the illusions, logos, and other design hand or by using software? So we are to give out what the correct answer there. So the correct answer for this given options is the graphic designer. It's what? Graphic designer. Creator of visual content. Graphic designer is a creator of visual content. Creator of visual content. visual content. So the correct answer is graphic designer because he's the one who develops these logos, other design hand using the software. So let us move on to 1.3. 1.2, who usually use spray paint to grade their pieces on walls? Who usually use spray paint to grade their pieces on wall? So that is 1.3. The correct answer is D today, given four options. The correct answer is graffiti artist. So graffiti artist create street art. So that is that. Graffiti artist is that person who create what street art. Like it says, who usually spray paint to create their pieces on walls. So now let us move on without wasting much time. So now we are on 1.4. 1.4 reads as follows. Presenters and characters on television look different than they usually look in real life. Presenters and characters on television look different than they usually look in real life. What do you call a person who does the work of changing their looks? What do you call the person who does the work of changing their looks? That is 1.4. And that is correct answer is C. To this given four options, the correct answer is C, makeup artist. So a makeup artist, is professional in applying cosmetics. Professional professional, professional applying cosmetics. Cosmetics. So that is makeup artist. So hope we are together on that. Now let us move on to 1.5 now. Here we are on 1.5. As it reads as follows. Before the actual construction of building, it is planned, designed, and reviewed. Which career is relevant to the process of constructing building? That is 1.5. That is 1.5. So we are given four options and then we have to come up with the correct answer. 1.5, correct answer is B. It's architecture. It's architecture. When it says which career is relevant to the process of constructing buildings, whereby you are to plan, you are to design, to come up with plans. They are such planning and designing in construction of building. It's done under architecture. So that is architecture. So now we are moving on to 1.16. 1.16. Precious has just finished her matric and she has applied to study fashion design. She has planned to study fashion design. What would be the reason for her career choice? So we are given the four options and to choose the correct answer. She wants to do what? A fashion design. She wants to do a fashion design. So what would be the reason for a career choice? It is because the correct answer there is 1.6. And 1.6 is A. The correct answer is A. She has a passion or interest in applying design, aesthetics, beauty, construction, and natural beauty to clothing and its accessories. So this is a correct answer. So now let us move on to 1.7. 1.7 reads as follows. Which design principle have to be considered when creating law? Which design principle have to be considered when creating law? When creating logo 1.7, that is 1.7. So we are talking about the design principles. We are talking about the design principles. So that is correct answer is B. Correct answer is B. Contrast, diaphragm, balance, and proportion. Proportion. Those are essential in logo design. They are essential in logo design. The correct answer is B. So now let us move on without wasting time. Now we are on 1.8. What is a popular culture? What is a popular culture? So we have to know what is a popular culture in this given options. So we have to come up with the correct answer, 1.8. So the correct answer is B. Popular culture includes cultural activities, products, images, ideas embraced by the broader public, and particularly seen in mass media. So popular culture, that is a mainstream trends, music, movies, and stuff like that. So that is that. So now let us go to 1.9. 1.9. You'd like to promote an upcoming young music artist. Choose the best design elements for his or her CD cover. That is 1.9. So now you have to choose the correct answer to this given option. So the correct answer is D. So that is that. This is the one that we are, because we are asked to choose the best design elements for his or her CD. So that this is the best design elements. A colorful CD cover with the name of the artist, eye-catching picture, and title of the song in bold. So that is why we are to opt for 1.9 as a correct answer. Then we come to 1.10. 1.10. People wear jewelry for various reasons. What would be the most appropriate reason for the ones listed below? 1.10. So the correct answer is C here. Jewelry has been worn by both genders in most cultures, religions for years, a symbol of status, wealth, nobility, rank, religion, and job titles. So the correct answer is C. So hope we're still together. Now we are moving on to 1.11. So 1.11 read as follows. Letting can be taken as an umbrella term that covers the art drawing letters instead of using it for writing. Lettering is also considered an art form where each letter in a phrase or quotation acts as an illustration. Each letter is created with special attention to its details and has a unique role within the composition. From the options, which one best confirms the above statement? From the options that are given, which one best confirms the above statement? That is 1.11. So the correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. Lettering is used for promoting morals, values, information, and can be used creatively to attract everyone's attention. Be used to attract everyone's attention. That is the lettering. So now let us move on to 1.12, 1.12. What does a symmetrical balance refer to? What does symmetrical balance refer to? So we are given the options just like other questions. 1.12, then the correct answer is A. The elements used on one side of design being similar to those on the other side. Symmetrical, equal visual weight of both sides. So we are talking about the equal visual weight on both sides. Weight on both sides. Both sides of central axis. So that is that. So now let us move on to 1.13. 1.13. What do we call a person who manipulates a puppet and makes it seem as though the puppet is speaking? And makes though as a puppet is speaking. That is 1.13. So the correct answer is D. The correct answer is D, whereby we are talking about ventriloquist. We're talking about ventriloquist. So it is what ventriloquist. So ventriloquist, that is a performer speaking without moving lips. That is a performer speaking without moving lips. Without moving lips. So that is ventriloquist. So now let us move on to 1.14. So here is 1.14. What do you understand by the term local culture? What do you understand by the term local culture? So we are given these options, then we have to choose the correct one, and the correct one is A. Set of behaviors, beliefs, customs that exist within a country. So local culture, behaviors, beliefs, and customs within a country or region. That's when we're talking about a local culture. So now 1.15, which design principle can be used in artworks? 1.15, which design principle can be used in artworks? So the correct answer is C, 1.15. Balance, harmony, and proportion and variety. That is that balance, harmony, proportion, and variety. So those are principles of art and design. These are principles of art and design. These are the principles of art and design. So now let us move on to 1.16. 1.16, what is your understanding by the French term frottage in visual arts? Frottage in visual arts. This is a French term for rubbing technique in visual arts. This is it. When you're talking about this, we're talking about this is a French term for rubbing. French term for rubbing technique in visual arts. Technique in visual arts. So we are asked, what is your understanding of this term? So that is 1.16, and the correct answer is A. Like we have said, it's about rubbing. So it's a rubbing out external effects or images from uneven surfaces with chalk and charcoal or a pencil. So that is that. So now let us move on to 1.7. 1.17, not 1.7, 1.17, 1.17. So here we are given image A, image B, image C. Then we are asked, what information can you gather from image A, image B, image C? That is 1.17. So the correct answer there is D. The correct answer there is D. Because you can see from image A, we're talking about a Christian religion. We're talking about a Christian religion. You can see by this, that is, this is a church. You can see that this is a church. Also, we can see image B is a commercial logos. As we can see, this is Facebook, this is WhatsApp, McDonald's. You can see this is a Shell, Crash. So those are image, those are commercial logos to say. But look, C, image C, those are traffic and road signs. We can see that image and C, these are traffic and road signs. So that is that. Then let's come to the 1.18. 1.180 talks about McDonald's. McDonald's is a food franchise recognized and appreciated by the masses. What culture does this brand represent? What culture does this brand represent? McDonald's. As we are told that it is recognized and appreciated by masses. So it means the correct answer is C, global culture. Global culture. That is a shared cultural elements across the world. When you're talking about it, global culture. That is a shared cultural elements across the world. So that is that. So now let us move on. Now we are on 1.19. So 1.19 reads as follows. What is the relevant explanation for the word dominance in art? 1.19. What is the relevant explanation for the word dominance in art? So 1.19, correct answer is P. That is the element with greatest visual weights in any art. So that is why the correct answer is B. 1.20, 1.20, what we call the ability to write or offers information using your own words but conveying the same message. Using your own words but conveying the same message. So you can see the paraphrasing is the correct answer, 1.20. You know paraphrasing, you're restating the text in different words with this one. You're using your own words. So it means you're restating text in different words. In different ways. That is that. So now let us move on. 1.21. Which two primary colors were mixed in order to get a green color? Which three primary colors were mixed in order to get what? A green color. So that is that. The primary color is created by blue and yellow mixed to create green. Blue and yellow mix. So the correct answer is C. Blue and yellow mix. Give us what? A green color. So let us move on to 1.22. That one was 1.21. 1.22. Whenever you add tint or white or shade black to an original primer color in increasing small amounts, they result in different shades of that color. So what is that color called? What is that color called? So it is called a monochromatic colors. It's called a monochromatic color. So monochromatic colors, the different shades of single color. That is what the different shades of a single color. Different shades of a single color. So now let us move on. To 1.23. So 1.23. Recyclable materials are old materials that can be used to make new ones. Why is it important to recycle materials? Why is it important to recycle materials? 1.23. So why are we recycling material? Why are we recycling material? So the correct answer is A, to eliminate garbage, save production, energy cost, reduce negative impact on environment. So that is when we are trying by all means to reduced waste. We reduce what? The waste by doing that. So we eliminate carbon, saving cost, and minimizing environmental impact. So that is when we're trying to do what we call sustainability and environment. So let us move on to 1.24. 1.24. The teacher taught learners about color mixing. She requested them to research tints. These learners approached the painter to seek clarity on what tints are and how they are produced. How would you explain tints to these learners? How would you explain tints to these learners? 1.24. So the correct answer is A. Tints are produced when an artist adds color to white to create lighter version and of that color. Because this is what we've told about that. So it means the correct answer is A. So now let us move on to 1.28, 1.25. 1.25 reads as follows. Which of the following concept is another word for center of interest? Center of interest. So that is 1.25 is D. Correct answer is D, center of interest. The another word for center of interest is focal point. So what? Focal point. So focal point, that is whereby we're talking about an area drawing the viewer's attention. That is area drawing the viewer's attention. The viewer's attention. The viewer's attention. So it's a focal point or center of interest. It's an area drawing. That is an area drawing the viewer's attention. That is that. So now let us move on to another question. Now we are on 1.26. So 1.26, a pen and ink artwork techniques form part of the wet and dry drawing media. Which options are relevant to the above statement? 1.26. 1.26 is correct answer is D. Hatching, steeping, and ink wash. So they are the ones that are relevant to the above statement. 1.27. Lines are important in the language of art. They lead our eyes around the composition and can communicate information through their character and direction. What effects do the lines have? What effects do the lines have? So you can see the correct answer. The correct answer is B. Vertical lines on wallpaper can make lower ceiling seem higher. Can make lower ceiling seem higher. So that is that. Now we are moving to 1.28. Gunde and Masui are puppets on your TV on channel SABC1. They usually tell jokes, but also sometimes speak about important matters in our everyday lives. What is the purpose of having puppets such as Gunde and Masui? That is 1.28. So the correct answer is T. To educate, inform, and entertain. Educate, inform, and entertain. So that is a correct answer, D, because they are saying sometimes they speak about important matters. So it means they indicate, they inform, and then they even entertain. So that is that. So now let us move on to 1.29. Let us move on to 1.29. 1.29 read as follows. Monuments remind us of our heritage. They are like treasure for a nation. symbolize the nation's pride. They help us to appreciate our past and our level of development, knowledge, and thoughts. To what does the word monument refer? So monument 1.29 refer to a statue, building, or structure created to honor someone. That is a monument. So for too much time, let's attend to 1.30. What is the role of an artist as an observer of society? What is the role of an artist as an observer of society? So that is 1.30, and the correct answer is D. To create artworks that add to the beauty of our surroundings. So without wasting much time, let's attend to 1.31. Mark weaves baskets for a living. He then supplies local shops, sometimes sells to individuals in the community. What is the Mark's role in society? What is the Mark's role in society? So his role is contributor. He contributes. So he's a contributor. It's a person contributing to a project or cause. So he supplies local shops and sometimes sells to individuals in the community. So the role is to contribute to the community because he supplies the local shops with those baskets. So that is that. So now we are on 1.32. 1.32 reads as follows. Artists play various roles within society for different purposes. When a puppeteer creates a puppet and makes a storyline based on a current outbreak of the measles, he or she talks about symptoms and treatment of muscles. What is the role of puppeteer play in a society? The role of puppeteer is a social spokesperson. The social spokesperson. Refer to figure 1 and figure 2 below. Compare the two works of the art in terms of similarities and differences with reference to the art elements and design principles. So here are our figure 1 as well as figure 2. So now we are asked to compare the two works of the art in terms of similarities and differences. So we are starting with similarities. Similarities, the correct answer is C. Figure 1 and 2, same symmetrical shapes. They have same symmetrical shapes. They have same symmetrical shapes, as you can see. But 1.3, 1.332, 1.332, whereby now we're talking about the differences of those figure 1 and 2 is that there is a narrow path in figure 2 and wide bridge in figure 1. So you can see this one is narrow and the other one is somehow bridge. They are not same. The shapes are different. So that is that. So now moving to 1.34. This art has a various art elements. Which element is not part of the artwork? So that is color. That is color. 1.34. The correct answer is B. Then you are on 1.35. 1.35. As grade 9 learners, you are busy with practical tasks that requires you to use sharp tools. While busy, one of the learners gets pricked by a needle. What steps can the teacher take in the future to avoid such incidents? So that is B, correct answer. The teacher should provide learners with ice cream sticks, straws, and plastic knives. So to provide learners with ice cream sticks, straws, as well as plastic knives, just to avoid that instance where the learner was now pricked by a needle. Now we are moving on to 1.36. 1.3. 6. A three-dimensional shape model has height, width, and depth and is created through modeling techniques. Which of the following modeling techniques can be used? So that you are saying the correct answer is A. Wrapping, tying, joining, cutting, pasting, and stitching, as well as scoring. So that is a correct answer. So now we are moving to 1.37. Why are certain artists called comedians? They are called comedians because they entertain audience by making them laugh through jokes and amusing situations. That is why the correct answer is C. Why is a craftsmanship important? The craftsmanship is important as it creates an elegant, carefully crafted, and highly quality art product. So the correct answer is A. Why is a cartoonist? What is a cartoonist? What is a cartoonist? The cartoonist is a visual artist who specializes in both drawing and writing cartoons. So the correct answer is B, or 139. So now let us move on to section B. Section B, we are given what a case that we have to go through what a case that is question 2, and then we have what a case study. So we are going to read the case study together and then answer the questions that follows. So the case study read as follows. Read the following extract from the Gerald Sekoto's biography and answer the following questions. The tradition of Black artists in South Africa has until recently been neglected. However, in the last 10 years, a new artistry has developed from growing awareness of the omission of the past. At the forefront of this reassessment is the work of Gerald Scott. He was born in 9 December 1913 at Bothaville. A German Lutheran mission station in the Eastern Transvaal. Then Butazwa. When he was 5 years old, his father was posted by the Lutheran Church on their mission school on the farm Wanderhoek in Middelburg, in the Middelburg district. He spent most of his formative years there. Sekoto nurtured the memories of his rural childhood for the rest of his life. Many of his letters dwell a great length on the experiences of his youth and early family. The love and security he was shown as a child were a source of solace and strength during difficult times of his exile. He started drawing early but did not have access to colorful pencil until he was a teenager. The introduction to color revolutionized his work. Periods of resistance in Sophiatown, Johannesburg, District 6, Cape Town, and Eastwood, Pretoria produced a vibrant, powerful pieces evoking both the colorful cultural activity and tensions of townships. The paintings from this time are historical records of a now extinct way of life. All three areas were bulldozed in the 50s and 60s. In 1947, Scott made the momentous decision to leave the country of his birth and travel to Paris. Like many voluntary and involuntary exiles, he has never to return to South Africa. France brought a new inspiration, and Scott worked many subjects and explored different themes, all characterized by a deep sense of unity. Towards the end of his life, Scotto's art increasingly gained recognition, mainly through the pioneering work of Barbara Lindop. Her research brought to life many paintings thought to have been lost, and through her correspondence with Scott, she was able to confirm details of his life before his death in 1983. In this book, Lindop introduces the extraordinary life story of Gerald Sekoto, accompanied by. So this is the scenario that we have just read, and then we are to answer the questions that follow this scenario. So here we are on 2.1. 2.1. How old was Gerald when his father was posted by a Lithuanian church to the their mission school? How old was Gerald? How old was Gerald? So as we can see here, we were told that Gerald was what? 5 years old. We are told that Gerald was 5 years old. So it means he was 5 years old. He was 5 years old. Gerard was 5 years old. So there are answers that we are giving him. So you can also go through them. So he was 5 years old. Also, Sikoto moved abroad, named the place to which he moved. So as you can see, now we have to go to the place that Sikoto moved. So as you can see that we are told that Sikoto made the momentous decision to leave the country of his birth and travel to Paris. So the correct answer there is Paris. He moved to Paris. He moved to Paris. That is that. So if you on the answer that you are given here, you can go through, that is Paris in France. Now coming to this one, give one reason why Sikoto's art increasingly gained recognition towards the end of his life. One reason why Sikoto's art increasingly gained what? Recognition. Why did his work gain what? Recognition? Towards the end of his life. They say towards the end of his life, Sikoto's art increasingly gained recognition mainly through the pioneering of work of Bambara leadership. So it gained recognition through this. It gained recognition through the pioneering work of Bambara Lindorf. So it gained recognition through this, through the pioneering work of Baba Lindorf, put him on the map and gave him recognition. Or he met Baba and they started working together. So that is the correct answer. 2.3. Also, do you think it was a wise decision for Gerald to move abroad? Support your answer. Do you think it was a wise decision for him to move abroad? So here are the given answers. Yes, after having moved abroad, his art pieces started gaining recognition, like it was said, which made him successful. Or you can say no. No, it was not wise because he should have stayed in the country, South Africa, of his birth. South Africans with the same skills as Baba Lindorf could have promoted his work, and this would have been appreciated by his fellow brothers. So we can choose either of the two. What are the most Gerald's letters about? What are the most Gerald's letters about? The letters of Gerald. Many of his letters were about his experience of his youth and early family. So that is that. That is a correct answer. 2.5. We're not talking about the letters of this guy. This is here. Many of his letters dwell great length of experience of his youth and early family life. So that is why we are saying 2.5. The correct answer is this. That is our correct answer. Now we are moving on to 2.6. Gerald Scott grew up like any other child who had dreams, however, he could not realize them to the fullest. State one reason why he could not use colors for his artworks until he was a teenager. So until he was a teenager. It is because he started drawing early but did not have access to color pencil until he was a teenager. So the correct answer is that he did not have access to color pencils. He never had access to color pencil. Here it is. He did not have access to color pencil. So that is a correct answer. Now we have to go to 2.6, 2.7, 2.7. Discuss how Charles Scott's life story was known even long after his death. Even long after his death. Why was that known even long after his death? The correct answer that you can give there is that her research brought life to many paintings thought to have been lost. This can be the answer as well. And through her correspondence with Scotto, she was able to confirm details of his life before his death in 1993. So these are your answers to that question. Question 2.7. So here is our 2.7. Lindo's research brought to life many paintings that were thought to have been lost, or through correspondence with Scotto, she was able to confirm details of his life before his death in 1993. They've already confirmed that from the given case study. 2.8. 2.8. Why do you think the tradition of black artists in South Africa has been neglected? So it was due to apartheid. It was because of the apartheid. The apartheid system was discriminated to black artists. Black tradition was disregarded, not taken into account. So these are the correct answer. Now we have to move on to 2.9. So 2.9, the above security he was shown as a child were a source of solace and strength during difficult time of his ex. What do you think would have happened if Sikot was not shown the love and security? You know, there is where in the case that where we are told that he was shown the love and security. Here it is. The love and security, he was shown as a child were a source of solace and strength during difficult times of his exile. So the question was, what do you think would happen if he was not shown the love and security? So that is 2.9. So he would be miserable, he was going to be frustrated, weak and discomforted and heartbroken and sad and distressed while if there was no love that was shown while he was in exile. 2.10. How would you explain the impact of the momentous decision? You remember that he take this decision when he wants to leave from out of South Africa to Paris. So the question says, how would you explain the impact of momentous decision? He made to leave the country of birth. So that is 2.10. His decision had the effect as it positively impacted his lifetime work. Or it enormously changed his life for better. So that is all. That is all what were expected for us. So that is the end of this presentation. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to hit the subscription button and also don't forget to share with others. Thank you very much.